What's good with the YouTube? As you already know, Big Flaco from a convict's perspective. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to smash, dash, slide on through with a little bit of energy. And as you can tell by the title and by the beautiful guest, I got my wife on today, Mrs. Flaco.
Hello, everybody.
So, we thought about a topic that really hasn't been touched on YouTube. And it's kind of important for a lot of ex-convicts, a lot of people who are getting involved in relationships, with people who used to be part of that gang lifestyle and so forth, especially at older ages like myself today. My wife in particular, she grew up, in the same area. She knew some of the same people, but she never really was influenced or into the gang lifestyle or culture. She kind of frowned upon it. You know what I'm saying? So we want to discuss about being in a relationship with someone who has some of those characteristics like myself, because even though I'm a changed man in many ways, there's certain things that have been instilled in me that it makes it sometimes difficult. And in past relationships, I've been very toxic because of that. And I'm learning and growing. So I brought my wife on, and we're going to discuss this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
So since dating me, right? What's the difference between like being with someone like me and some of your past marriage?
I think what it is that I don't know anything about like prison stuff or gangs or anything like that. So it's like I have to adjust to it. I mean, a lot of men are controlling in every relationship, but for me, it's like I had to adjust to the fact that I don't know how to explain it, but it's just I have to adapt to your traits.
My traits, which are kind of more, explain those traits a little bit.
Disciplined into you.
Some of the stuff that's disciplined into me, like say, even like, if there's like a quarrel or something like that, we're not going to discuss our personal stuff or nothing like that. But say if there's an issue, right? The one thing about me is I want facts. I'm used to not insinuations. I'm not used to assumptions. So when she presents something, and the first thing I tell her is what?
I better have facts.
Better have facts.
Mm-hmm.
She hates that.
I do. I'm like, oh my God, I can't present this right now because I gotta have proof.
And I've told her certain things, right? Like, I've noticed this with, I look at myself as a citizen civilian today, right? But like, say like, there's certain people out there, right? My wife's a very beautiful woman. She gets hit on all the time. You know what I'm saying? And some of them may have even know who I am. And to me, I'd be telling her that's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? If you, I explain it to her. She goes, well, man, it's not that big of a deal. Why even care? I said, well, this is what's been instilled in me is that if a man knows who you are and they go out of their way to still try to go there, that's the cause and effect of what they've done. They should be ready for whatever consequences. And so it's kind of hard at times because a lot of things comes down to respect, and a lot of that's within myself. I don't know if that has to do with, sometimes we have insecurities as kids in the life that we were raised, but anybody that's been in a prison environment knows that respect is the most important thing that to any convict is to be garnered that respect and not to feel disrespected. Mm-hmm. But what I'm learning that in the regular world, people don't always look at things in the lenses I look at things through.
Yeah, true. Very true. Like, there's just a lot of incidences between me and him that it's like we conflict, but I have to realize that he's adjusting to me. That's what he's doing. So I have to adjust to him. Yeah.
And I'm used to like kind of like being in control a little bit, and I don't control her. So I'll tell you that right now.
No, he doesn't control.
I don't
me.
control her. I mean,
he just tells me do what you feel you need to do.
I just ask for respect in return and stuff like that. And some things that maybe she wouldn't consider as disrespect, I may consider it, but I sit there and take into account that okay, you know what, I can't fault someone who doesn't look at things in that perspective or views. I mean, but I'm very defensive though if I see vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If I get attacked or something, if someone hits me up or something like that, I'd be like, well, hold on, what about that over there? I'm not tripping off that. And then it becomes, okay, well, hold on. You're doing this and doing that. And we just work through it though. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people struggle with that. You know what I mean? That have, like I was telling her earlier, when you're young and, you get involved in that gang lifestyle or convict, it's kind of easier if you're with another young person because as men, we're kind of manipulators, especially for gangsters and con men. that we can mold that person and understanding our lifestyle. It's different now being, older and not looking for that past life and trying to adjust with someone that's had a different life. She has a good career. She got a good head on her shoulders. Never been convicted of any crimes. Never been a drug addict. Never any of that stuff. Never associated with anybody that lived that life. So when she hears my stories, at first she didn't understand it, and she thought that okay, you're a washed up cholo now. I'm like, man, I never was a cholo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did call you that. I was like, you're just a washed up cholo.
Yeah,
but
it's kind
now,
of washed up.
you know what? There was an incident that happened before, and I was like, wow, I never realized like who you were or what you were until that happened, and I was like, wow.
Without going into details,
we're not going to go into details.
Someone did something, and then they found out who I was, and they really got scared.
Yeah, and I didn't realize. I warned them, and I was like, my husband, everybody knows him, and then it was just not good. But I never realized the whole picture because I was never involved in prisons or gangs or getting arrested or anything like that. And then, Flaco is a very knowledgeable man. So that's what I like about him, is that he just kills everything with facts. So I think that's what attracted me to him, was like, wow, I like what you say. So
it's a learning experience for me too. You know what I'm saying? Because up until this is basically my first real relationship and stuff with anybody, as opposed to the other ones were basically young. They were young. I was young, or they were young too, and so there was no maturity. She's been paying her own bills. She's been taking care of her kids. She's homeschooled. She's done all kinds of stuff that other women that I've been with were not able to acquire those type of things. And so it's a little bit different. It's everything that I want, because I like her intelligence and everything. And I think though it's still a trial at times, because I have to learn that that past lifestyle does not exist out here in the streets. And even the past lifestyle, I can't always be looking at things about respect and so forth. And sometimes I gotta look at the other person may not understand my past. And I think that works vice versa a little bit.
yeah, it does.
Because the one thing about me is I'm very thorough in things. And the thing is, I was telling her, I was like, look, when I was behind the wall, sometimes I'd have to write reports and I'd have to retain information. She gets mad. I remember everything. She brings something up, I'll have it, you know what I mean? With her in 5 minutes, I said, look, boom.
That drives me nuts. I'm like, how do you remember that?
You know what I'm saying?
But then he brings it up and I'm like, okay, I did say that.
And but that's part of my teachings, and it's not me trying to, who, what, where, when, why was always in my vocabulary, because when I had to present something, I was telling her, look, it couldn't be no assumptions. It couldn't be insinuations, because if I make an assumption, assume, I'm making an ass out of you and me. I have to go with facts, and there's been some instances where even she thought it was something else and it wasn't even that. And I told her in the beginning, hold up, wait to see what it is,
I've learned to adjust to him.
Yeah, and I've tried to learn to adjust to her too.
Yeah.
And we're bringing up this topic because look, we're older. Both of us are older. You know what I mean? We're not that old though. We still got it though. But being being in this chapter of my life and stuff, I've come to realize that look, there's certain characteristics that I obtained from doing long terms of locked up that I was holding on to for the last 15 years of not being incarcerated. And those certain things I have to sit there and pick and choose what's relevant and what's important, because I notice I can get in my own way. You know what I mean? I can not always be reasonable to listen to what the other person has to say, because I wasn't always one that was going to be questioned. You know what I mean? My respect was going to be honored regardless. And I can get really, offset just by actions or words and stuff, instead of it just rubbing off me like it's nothing. I take everything too personal, because that lifestyle I lived was personal. You know what I mean? I mean, people got shot, they got stabbed, they get all kinds of bad things happen just based upon that life. And it doesn't mean that I have to abandon everything that I learned, like I told her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to sit there and pick and choose what's relevant and try to, convey that. Okay, this is what I'm going through. This is why I feel this way. Like I was telling her about, when certain people that maybe know who I am, You know what I'm saying? They try to holler or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And I explained it to her like this. I go, look, when I was in the streets, I may see a hot chick right there that's trying to get at me, right? But her man over there's a shooter. He's a hitter. Now, if I'm willing to accept that he may be coming to my door, that's on me if I want to engage. I better be ready for what's coming my way.
Yeah.
I go, and that's what men need to think, that every man's going to react different. So if I feel disrespected to a certain, or you mess with my life, you put your voice, your opinion, you speak negative about me, I have certain feelings inside, like for my old behaviors. You know, it's like you can get tossed in the trunk and dumped somewhere. Those are old ways of thinking. Because I feel like people don't recognize me because that would never happen before. But sometimes you got to sit there and look like, it's a trial, huh?
Yeah.
To understand.
Yep, it is.
We'll talk to the people a little bit more about being.
I like, you know what? I enjoy listening to him talk because he's very knowledgeable, and I just like listening to him. So if I don't say very much, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm a manipulator, huh?
No, he's not.
You know what a manipulator is? You know what a manipulator is? It's someone who is crafty with their words to present their case and stuff.
No, you're
what I mean?
very good with your words. I'm like, I'll let you talk.
What would you give advice to someone like, say,
Woman?
someone starting a relationship, you know what I mean, with someone that they're trying to do their best, right? As far as an ex-gay member, or they just got out of prison, the guy's doing good, even though the presentation is always going to be different in the beginning, everybody's on their best behavior.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But things eventually come out about who that person is. What advice would you give any woman dating a ex-convict or ex-gay member?
My advice to women is just to kind of, observe, kind of lay low a little bit until maybe, like, I don't know, if you're getting serious, like the first 6 months, kind of lay low and observe who this person is. And then, know their background, know where they came from, like their childhood, being in prison, being locked up, because that does a lot to you mentally and emotionally. So just kind of, listen and just learn who they are. Because it's still taking me a lot to do that for my husband. Like, like he said, I've never been involved with somebody that was in prison or been in jail or anything like that. So I have to adjust to him. His emotional and mental state is what's most important.
And there's also people who, regardless of what I'm doing for today, I get a lot of support from people that you guys don't know, like that are freaking very powerful people in the world. But you always have those people that are always judging me, and they'll make remarks about me to her. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like I tell her, I said, it doesn't matter what I'm doing now. It matters what I'm doing now, but not in the past. Because if people believe in change and redemption, then they should give everybody the opportunity. Don't judge someone based upon their past. But you get that from people because that's all they can do. That's the only thing that they can hold on to is find points about what you may have done in your past. We've all done things in our past that we're not proud of. A lot of it's just not known. It's not put out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all have our own personal skeletons. My stuff's pretty much out there. So that's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna judge you regardless. You know what I mean? Like, and I probably can pretty much go toe to toe as far as verbally or educationally with almost anybody when it comes to the most common people and hold my ground. I'm not no ignorant individual. But it becomes a little bit
challenging.
Not challenging. It's kind of
annoying.
Well, what's the right word? Kind of irritating, but like to where like you kind of feel down about it. Like, man, like you do everything you're supposed to, but like you still got those that want to hold it against you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the one person, man. Every other word is convict or this and that. You know what I mean? Like. And, he doesn't know the things that I've actually done in the community, the things that I've accomplished. You know what I mean? From working with nonprofits to working with kids to working with people in recovery to volunteer work. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't sit there and brag about it. You know what I mean? Because I do those things for my own self to make me feel better about the things that I've done. But I think for anybody, man, this is what I'm going to tell everybody out there from the convict side or ex-gang member side. Remember, they may not understand that life, especially with women, because it really is a man's world when it comes to all the gang and criminal stuff. and therefore sometimes they're not going to understand or comprehend what. So sometimes, and it's challenging because you don't want to lie to your partner about stuff. Sometimes you got to present it like, look, you may not want to know about this. You know what I'm saying?
And I do tell you that, right?
Yeah, she tells me that.
I tell him, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't know about that.
You know, because I mean, because trust in a relationship is the most key, and honesty too.
Yeah. I really don't want to know some things, and I tell him I don't want to know about that. You know, just to protect myself in case anything ever were to happen. I really don't know about it because I don't know. You know.
I told her she can't testify against me.
No.
Anyways, yeah, man. What else? What else, man? About okay, look, as opposed to other relationships, right? I mean, we're all get emotional, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can all get mad. Anybody, we can have our outbursts or out of character, right? But what's the biggest thing that you see differently from convicts or no, I'm not gonna call myself a convict. I'm gonna say ex-gang member.
I think like trust and loyalty is like
big to me.
Big to you, and it's big to me. So, I mean, I've never been cheated on or anything like that. So, but I would never cheat. I would never lie, you know, so that's a big thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what else we can go into. Well, final thoughts on everything before we go elsewhere. Before we close this and let everybody, this is what we call this. This is important though, because I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of women out there that are watching our channels that have men that are locked up for the first time. And
that's hard.
You know, and
I bet that's hard.
As a convict, I mean, well, they maybe never even met the person except for through visits too, though.
Oh, geez.
You know what I'm saying?
That must be harder.
Yeah.
You know, you got to stay loyal to that guy who's locked up, and now you're just out there, and all these people who are trying to get at you, and you're like, God, I got to stay loyal. I can't do this, you know, and it's hard.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Like, think about it. And those are the thoughts that go on in men's head out there. I mean, you got different. Some men will say, you know what? I don't care. I'm gone. Whatever you do, you do. Just I don't want to know. That men are like that in there. Or some are fucking just tripping. They're fucking ready to like Dear John letters and this that. They make everything worse.
Yeah.
You know, for those that are decide to either date someone that just got out or someone that's in there, just think of the actions of evaluating it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make sure that there's boundaries and respect both ways, because I see a lot of times women who get in relationships with men who are locked up can be played so easily. Because convicts are manipulated a lot of times.
They are, but this is how I tell Flaco. I tell him, I wouldn't want you to do that to me. So why would I want to do that to you? So it's kind of like, you know, just don't do anything to make drama or anything like that. I love Flaco, and
drama's gonna cure regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless in life.
Yeah.
Social media is one of the biggest effects of everything is social media.
I hate social media.
And just to tell people, man, like, and
so bad.
And people will play you. They'll try to create problems and so forth, man. They'll do all kinds of stuff, man, just to make those issues, man. Like, and you know, it's something that you have to come to terms is, okay, do you actually need social media or not? And if you do, just be respectful within boundaries. Because there's those out there that will sit there and fucking just cross shit up, start rumors, try to put shit in people's heads.
Oh my God, it's so
you know
bad.
I mean? And just words will affect people. It'll affect any man or any woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know, get a message that says about this, that, you're going to be fucked up about it. Even if you don't believe it, you may still have that little thing in the back of your head that's going to affect your actions within the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may start thinking things, and then you start looking at things from a whole different perspective, and then nothing is ever what it really seems.
Yeah.
You know, living that gangbanging lifestyle, man, is one thing, but living a life that's totally away from it, that's different, there's nothing wrong with it. Like today, I'm learning still, because this is really my first relationship, you know, that I was not doing illicit activities, that I was not running the streets, you know, and so it's you know, I'm in my 40s. I don't want to keep on running around playing games. I don't want to go back out through the streets, you know, because it's real easy. You know, the streets are only about like from arm's length from me. You know what I'm saying? And what comes with that is running around the streets with a banger, doing stuff, and not caring about life. And I don't know that if I have a chance second chance at life if I go down that path. And what I mean by that is I don't know if I can recover if I decide to branch away because my emotions get in the way, or I don't think this life is for me. You know, because you question that. You know what I mean? As an ex-gang member, when you're trying to live some type of normalcy of what you're being told is normal, sometimes you question if you can do it. And I've done that within myself because
it's a challenge.
I've tried so hard, man. And I waited 5 years to start dating until I met this beautiful woman right here. That's my wife. And I even thought I was prepared for any type of struggles that came my way. But in all actuality, I really wasn't. But I grew from it. I bounced back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing for everybody out there, man. Realize that, you know, we're all humans. We're going to make mistakes. Own the shit and move forward. If you can't move forward past shit and you dwell on stuff, you're living in the past. And that's only going to control you. And that's one thing I have learned about life is I can't let any past actions, either you forgive, you may not forget, but you forgive and move forward, or you fucking let it go. And those are the most hardest things for any human being to hold on to. You know what I mean? Like one of the key things I don't like is this from as being what an ex-gay member. I do not like outside influences basing their opinion on the relationship. Their opinion or not. I don't care if it's her friends or anything. I don't care if she wants to speak to her friends and say, look, this is what's going on, and just have someone to vent to. But the moment that they speak bad about me, or if someone speaks bad about her, I try to shut it down. Yeah. I won't let nobody, because, you know, I'm human. I have a couple people I may talk about when I'm having a fucking shitty day. But I will not let anybody try to sit there and say, well, you know, you should fucking abandon that shit or this and that. No.
Well, I don't have a lot of friends, so, you know, friends. So I have like one or two.
So that's one thing people have to remember out there too, though, man. Like, and you know, men usually have this argument all the time with women. It's when there's friends that start to voice their opinion of what the woman should do, and it's kind of hard because women like to gossip like that. They're always going to put their 2 cents in, and so those are sometimes the hardest things in a relationship I notice, because as soon as it gets to conflict and fighting, everything that could be slung gets slung, and then people try to refrain certain things back. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that will offset people from our past lifestyle is when someone is putting an opinion or trying to affect your relationship. Because what people forget is whoever's voicing that opinion over there, this is not their life. So their actions are affecting the person. You know, and in my old ways, I start thinking now, I'm like, man, fuck, I might as well put a bullet in the back of their head. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically speaking. But no, I'm serious. Like, I'm not serious. That's one thing about being a gangster, is that even though I'm all about the positive push, I don't want no one to have any type of influence or impact outside of it unless it's between me and her. Mm-hmm. And that goes within anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And those are things that people as couples need to understand and respect. It's just like she wouldn't want me getting an opinion from a female telling me what I should do. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? No. Or even from a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? You know, if a homeboy said, you know what, man, I think you should be done with that. You know what I mean? Whoa. I'd be like, hold on, this is my life. You know what I mean? Just be there to hear me out what I'm going through. Maybe give me a little guidance on what I need to do to help myself.
I personally don't like another female telling my man what to do, because then that means she's trying to make a move on him. And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
She got defensive on us.
Yeah, I don't like other women telling him or giving him advice. And I'm like, no. If you have a problem, you come to me like I come to you.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah, exactly.
That's how we do it.
See how boss she is about this, you know. But I think this was a good topic for everybody. I think this went a little bit different direction, man. Like, I haven't seen anybody on YouTube have a discussion where you're talking about an ex-gay member with a civilian. Some people think, oh, you know what I mean, because of her native features, that she was an ex-chola. She's been told that. Nah.
Yeah.
She never was about that life. You know what I mean? Never.
No. I just look mean. That's it.
You know, she was never about that life.
No,
I mean, she's always had jobs, professional jobs. She's very intelligent. I mean, she could do almost anything. You know what I'm saying? He learns real quick.
Yeah. I've done aviation.
She's in aviation. She's done, you know what I mean?
I've done union stuff.
Bookkeeping.
Accounting. I've worked in hospitals. So. Yeah.
She got, you know. So, anyways, this is your boy Flaco with
Mrs. Flaco.
I was going to say the wife, and she would have smacked me right now.
I would have. I hate being called the wife.
This is something different, man. I talked to her. I was like, look, because, you know, we don't always have time to hang out like this all the time.
No,
we're married. You know, we both have busy lives at times. You know, a lot of kids that are involved.
Yes, a lot of kids.
And so the kids always take precedent over each one of us. But sometimes we're
Can
trying
we
to
say how many kids we have together?
They already know we have 10.
Oh, we have 10. Yeah,
we have 10.
10.
You know what I mean? No more.
No. I think Chunky's the last one,
Yeah,
huh?
Chunky's the last one. That's
Chunky's
it.
the last one.
Anyways, it's your boy Flaco, Mrs. Flaco. We're out.